Kanye West has always been a controversial figure, but recently he's gone more extreme than ever.
I want Jewish children to look at their daddy and say, why is Jay mad at us? We haven't escaped the Holocaust, we still in it. Plan B. That just so happened to be Jewish.
So you said it knowing it's racist?
Yes, I fought fire with fire.
Following Ye's 2020 presidential campaign, a sentence I did not think I would ever leave my mouth, he took an extended break on Twitter until the 8th of October 2022, where he announced his run for presidency in 2024. Following that tweet is one of the internet's greatest tweets of all time. Look at this, Mark. How are you going to kick me off Instagram? Man, I can only imagine what kind of peppery heat Mark is spitting in that moment. But unfortunately, despite how funny this tweet may be, the reasons behind it are much more sinister. Following recent public backlash for Kanye wearing and promoting a White Lives Matter t-shirt, rapper and producer P. Diddy attempted to have a conversation with Ye. This is hurting our people. Stop. As Puff repeatedly tried to ask Kanye for his address so he can have this conversation with him face to face, Ye replies, "I'ma use you as an example to show the Jewish people that told you to call me that no one can threaten or influence me. I told you this was war." By the way, this is exactly what I imagine it's like to text Kanye. These texts were all published by Kanye to his own Instagram account, where they were swiftly removed for making anti-Semitic remarks. If you don't know what that means, it's simply hostile or prejudiced against Jewish people. Kanye was temporarily banned from the platform, leading to the "how you gonna kick me off" Instagram tweet. The only logical next step was to purchase his own social media platform. Was it going to be Twitter? No. Elon Musk already bought that. Instagram? Well, friendship ended with Mark. Now Parler is my best friend. Parler is a right-wing free speech social media app with over 13,000 one-star reviews. Kanye likes the platform, given it has almost no moderation at all, but of course, this is going to harbour extremists and hate speech. We have monitored far-right communities on Parler since March and have found frequent use of both obvious white supremacist terms and even more explicit, evasive memes and slang. Luckily, it didn't get any worse than that. For 21 whole hours. I'm a bit sleepy tonight, but when I wake up, I'm going DEFCON 3 on Jewish people. The funny thing is, I actually can't be anti-Semitic because black people are also Jew. Also, you guys have toyed with me and tried to blackball anyone who ever opposes your agenda. It's clear that Kanye thought he was untouchable.
The thing about it, me and Adidas, is like, I could literally say anti-Semitic shit and they can't drop me.
Unsurprisingly, Adidas terminates partnership with Ye. Who could have guessed? This decision is expected to have a short-term impact of up to 250 million euros. Balenciaga severs ties with Ye. MRC Studios scrapped a completed documentary about Kanye after the anti-Semitic comments. Kanye is a producer and sampler of music. Last week, he sampled and remixed a classic tune that has been charted for over 3,000 years. The lie that Jews are evil and conspire to control the world for their own gain. JP Morgan Chase, Ye's own bank, cuts ties with him and Yeezy. His talent agency, CAA, drops Kanye West after anti-Semitic remarks. Gap and Foot Locker remove all Yeezy's merchandise. His own lawyers from Cohen, Clare, Lands, Griefer, Thorpe and Rottenstrike, definitely pronounced that one wrong, who represented Ye in his divorce from entrepreneur and public figure Kim Kardashian, are no longer representing Ye. Kanye's wax figure was even removed from public view at Madame Tussauds. Don't worry, wax Priyanka Chopra Jones, Kanye can no longer stare at your massive hair. Thankfully, Kanye stopped there with his hateful spreading of misinformation. For 3 whole days, where he appeared in the episode of the Drinks Champs podcast.
I watched the George Floyd documentary that Candace Owens put up. One of the things that his 2 roommates said was, they want a tall guy like me. They want a tall guy like me. And the day when he died, he said a prayer for, 8 minutes. They hit him with the fentanyl. If you look, the guy's knee wasn't even on his neck like that.
Kanye believed the incident in which George Floyd was murdered by a police officer kneeling on his neck for 9 minutes was actually just due to fentanyl in his system. During the trial against Minnesota police officer Derek Chauvin, Medical experts testified that even though Floyd had traces of fentanyl in his system, Floyd died from a lack of oxygen caused by the knee on his neck, which a coroner's report affirmed in deeming Floyd's death a homicide. The claims made by Kanye in this podcast have led to the family of George Floyd suing Ye for $250 million. The podcast was removed from Drink Champs since it contained false and hurtful information regarding the circumstances surrounding the murder of George Floyd. Integrity is very important, and we don't want to promote false narratives on our platform. And thankfully, Kanye stopped there with his hateful spreading of misinformation yet again, for a whole 6 days. Now, this interview with Piers Morgan, wow.
You think the media is racist?
Please don't ask me any questions.
Do you now regret saying
I update
DEFCON
every
3
day.
on Jewish
I update-
people? Are you sorry you said that?
No.
I think it matters. You should be.
Absolutely not. You haven't felt my pain.
You
You don't want to feel my pain.
No, hang
you don't
on.
hold la la.
Despite the incredible depth of memes that came from this hour-and-a-half conversation, the interview did end on an interesting note.
I'm going to start by taking accountability for my actions and the lack of sophistication in my wording. Like I said, I was sleepy, and it was taken in a way that I didn't mean to be taken. It definitely caused some attention.
So what was he actually trying to say? Well, I've watched over 9 hours of interviews with Kanye, and I'm going to attempt to decipher his encrypted message. The funny thing is, I actually can't be anti-Semitic because black people are actually Jew also.
You know, it's when you talk about Jewish people specifically as targeting them that creates a problem.
It's anti-Semitic, but I don't believe in that term. One thing is, black people are also Jew. I classify as Jew also, so I actually can't be an anti-Semite. So the term is actually, it's not factual.
First of all, we are Semite. We Jew. So I can't be anti-Semite.
But when I wake up, I'm going DEFCON 3 on Jewish people. This statement covers a large amount of these interviews, and for good reason. This is an extremely threatening sentence. Ye's fixation on the Jewish people can be summarized as he has had bad experiences in his life with Jewish people, therefore this message goes out to all of them.
There was a Jewish trainer that brought me to the hospital and put in press that I went to the hospital. I know friends that off of exhaustion, a Jewish doctor, they diagnosed
Why do you keep saying Jewish?
Almost all of the interviewers point out the exact same thing to Ye, that he should be focusing on these individuals rather than linking that to the larger group that they may be part of. The fact that the individuals that wronged him in his life were Jewish really had nothing to do with it.
All the assholes that fucked you over in the music industry, fuck artists over in the music industry, are individuals. They're not Jews. They are Jewish.
However, Kanye is attempting to bring light to a pretty serious issue, and that is that media companies, record labels, and some of the biggest entertainment organizations in the world have horrible contracts that are intentionally designed to screw over the artists or talent. Kanye has been through this. He's had bad deals, he's seen friends and fellow artists do the same, and he's attempting to fix the issue of greedy corporations taking advantage of talent. This is furthered by the last sentence in the tweet. You guys have toyed with me and tried to blackball anyone who opposes your agenda. Kanye has repeatedly said that he and many other people in Hollywood aren't allowed to express their political opinion if it isn't a liberal one, so he's attempting to shine light on these issues. Now, this is a noble thing to do, undoubtedly. However, Kanye is reflecting his own personal issues with greedy businessmen and linking that to the Jewish people in an incredibly anti-Semitic way. What's worse is that when being called out for his anti-Semitism, he has one of two responses. The first, saying he can't be anti-Semitic because he's a Jew.
First of all, we are Semite. We Jew. So I can't be anti-Semite.
Or the second, to say that he isn't going to apologize until the problem is fixed.
I think you should say to the Jewish people, I'm sorry for the offensive language I used in that tweet. I wouldn't do that again. This is what I really meant. I think people would respect you if you said that. I don't know why you can't just say that.
You know when I'll say it? When I sit down with the people who write out the contracts for the NBA and for the NFL and for professional music and for acting contracts.
Oddly, nearly all of the interviews with Ye go the same way. He seems to be convinced that what he said was wrong, and by the end seems sincerely apologetic.
And say, I'm sorry for hurting you as a Jewish person. I'm sorry for the way that made you feel. And I'm sorry for the entire population of a race that I feel is actually my brothers, because I classify and feel that I'm also connected with Christ.
Then he moves on to the next interview, but just repeats the cycle like a broken clock.
I'm not going to say what race, what people, doctor, and what hospital, and what media went to. We know I can't say that. It was a Jewish doctor.
Due to these controversies, many outlets are now claiming that Kanye is no longer even a billionaire. The Adidas Yeezy deal was worth $1.5 billion, which without, Forbes reports that Ye is worth $400 million. Kanye himself says that he lost $2 billion in one day, and it doesn't seem like he's really learnt anything from the last month. On the 30th of October, Kanye was interviewed by The Hollywood Fix, where he repeatedly pointed out how many Jewish individuals were the top of major media outlets.
Okay, so this right here is a chart of Universal Studios, 20th Century Fox, ABC News, CBS News, Discovery Network, Paramount Pictures, Facebook, Touchstone, Associated Press. The red are the executives that are Jewish at these companies.
It's hard to tell if Kanye has really learned a lesson from this whole time. Just when it seems like he's making some progress, he snaps right back to where he was.